What is going on, everybody? This will be my third time trying to do this intro. One, because the sun today sucks, and two, it's been a while since I've made a video, so I'm a little bit rusty. So thank you for staying tuned. I'm pretty sure I'm up to like 240 something subscribers now, so thank you so much if you recently subscribed. I really appreciate it. So on today's video, we'll be working once again out from my garage. So one thing I've got to show you is a product that I've designed myself. Super happy with how it turned out. So if you're definitely interested, guys, please be sure to check out my new window banners that I've made. So I've got some window stickers made. They work perfectly with a window tint strip. As you can see, I've got the window tint strip across there. Now I will be selling these to whoever really wants one, so please be sure to get in contact if you want one. Head to the Instagram channel below. I'll put my link right here, so please be sure to check that out. So but today we will be installing, I've got it in my pocket, a Greddy Profec Spec B2 electronic boost controller into, as always, the 33. So I have already installed the Mac valve, which is sitting right here. So anyone that's got an R33 knows that the factory boost solenoid sits right there, and that's actually a perfect spot to mount the actual Mac valve. So this here will clearly plug into the back of the boost controller here. So a genuine Greddy boost controller. Obviously you've got the solenoid control valve, cable in, power in, and then the actual vacuum source right there. So I bought this this Greddy controller from JDM Garage Australia. So there's probably many JDM garages around in the world, but Australia was, I'm pretty sure, was the first one to have it. So you can tell this is a clean kit. It came straight out of another car. So we've got the actual controller module itself, the solenoid wiring, the actual power cable. Come with a whole bunch of line itself. Obviously inline little filter there too. Now this here is the factory, the boost solenoid. So I'll show you where this belongs out here. So this would normally be sitting somewhere there like that. So all I've done, you can actually see the footprint of where it used to be. So shaped like that, normally would be plugged into this little, there's a little loom that I've tucked away just there. So I've obviously, you know, got the new Mac valve set there, zip tied it to the factory bracketry, which normally would hold the cabling. So this end here, I've got to look at it closer soon. One end will go straight into my intake here, and then the other end will go straight around into the external gate there. So I'll get the car put back inside, guys, because the sun this afternoon is right there, and it's putting a really bad shadow on the inside of the car, and I'd like to set the camera up on the inside of the car so you can probably see what I'm doing. So yeah, we'll get things underway, but also some more news. So obviously I've been a bit quiet, so let's have a look what I've got here. So for videos that are up and coming, I've got a full set of Denso 840cc injectors here to suit with the Nistune airflow meter. So a Nistune ECU, which is plugged inside here already on the floor. So this one's my factory ECU, and then the Nistune one is right there. And in order for that Nistune to work, I've also installed a Z32 airflow meter. I'm not sure if you can see, there we go. So Z32 airflow meter. But yeah, that airflow meter obviously suits with the Nistune itself. So the Z32 is out of the 300ZXs. Obviously, you know, wherever you're watching this from, there's 300ZXs everywhere in the world, but we've obviously got them here in Australia as well. So yeah, everyone always puts Z32 airflow meters in either their RB20 Skylines or R33 ones. So yeah, let's get stuck into this. So all you're going to need is, I've got literally my little Milwaukee screw gun to pull the dash apart, some more bits if I need it, drill for drilling with the dash, some snips, a blowtorch for heat shrink, because you always heat shrink all your cabling when you're doing stuff, soldering iron if I'm going to do some soldering, and an assortment of heat shrink. Heat shrink is the best. Don't ever twist and tape. Heat shrink always. So without any further ado, let's get stuck into it. G'day. So alright, so first things first, guys, we're going to want to obviously pull the dash apart, and then we're going to want to work out whereabouts we want to put the actual boost control itself. So I'm probably going to put it right here, keep it nice and tidy so I can see it. Obviously a lot of people do have them sitting under the dash here, but I don't think that's very, you know, a very good place to put it, because obviously if it's warning you or saying, hey, something's not right, you know, you'd rather be able to see it right there instead of, you know, looking under here. So first things first, to get your 33 dash apart, gear knob off, pull that aside, pop that up. So that's going to come out. Then there's one Phillips head screw just here. So there's one. Now I always seem to put all the nuts and bolts and stuff that I pull apart out of the car just in the cup holder. It's always easy access right there. Good to see it. So I'm going to pull it apart, and then you can pull the cigarette lighter plugs apart. These can be a bit of a tricky bit of a pain in the bum to get off. Wherever the plug is, there, and there. Come on, there we go. So just set everything aside, guys. So obviously these are the two power, so that's for the light, and that's the positive and the negative for the cigarette lighter. So next part will be the actual dash fascia. So you want to drop the steering column down a bit, and then there's two Phillips head screws, like right here and right there. Undo them too. Ooh. And if you drop them, pick them up, because it's a pain in the ass if you can't find them. Then you want to slowly pop all the clips out and plug the mirror switch. Now make sure this is all the way down, otherwise you will scratch the top of the steering column surround, which I have done many a time. And you just want to kind of twist it forward, or lean it forward, unplug everything from behind it here without damaging anything. You're not really going to damage anything, but it's more of the fact of just don't be rough with it. Just take your time, otherwise you will be in a world of hurt if you break things. So give me a second. Oh. So you've got the demister to undo, hazard light switch, and the clock. Now don't worry about if you haven't, you know, worked out which plug goes where, because they only go in one spot because they're all different sizes, so that always turns out really well. Okay, so that's everything undone, and we'll just lift it up and back. What have I still got connected? Nothing. Okay, so there you go, just like that. Then move that out of the way, otherwise you will damage things. So as I was saying before, guys, every plug here is a different size. So you've got the demister, hazard lights, and the clock. What's that one there? That is for, that one there is your radio antenna up and down, and that there is to do with the thermometer or whatever the fuck it is to control the AC unit. So next thing I've got to do, guys, I've got to pull the stereo and everything out, and the AC unit control. Actually no, AC controls can stay. So first I just got to get out the control, the screws to hold in the stereo. So there's one there, another one here, another two at the bottom. So they're all Phillips heads, so that's why I always have a little screw gun. So as you already would have seen, guys, I've got the set of Denso 870cc injectors on there. So stay tuned. Sorry, on my bench, not on there yet. So they're on the bench, but yeah, stay tuned for that video, which will be to come soon. But as I said, guys, I've become a dad of two now, so it's a little bit hard for me to find spare time to make videos, but as everyone says, you don't find time, you just make time. So whoever fucking thought of that is just an absolute genius, because time is just something that's very valuable, especially with two children. Shit gets hard and very busy. So obviously, guys, unplug everything. So that's my RCAs, because there's an amp under this seat, and if you can tell from here, all my wiring is done nicely. I always like doing nice wiring, because one, I hate when you see cars and stuff that are for sale on Facebook and they're missing a, you know, they're missing a stereo, and all you see is a spaghetti junction of bullshit. All this here, you know, I've taped it up nicely. I think that's to do with steering wheel controls and stuff like that, so we just leave that the way it is. But yeah, everything here, guys, is nice and tidy and ready to go. So now what we'll do, we'll pull this apart. We'll pull the actual little double or the single DIN pocket here off, and we'll work out where we're going to actually mount the control unit. So we'll go to the bench and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're back over here at the bench now. So as I showed you before, we've got the power cable to obviously supply power to the unit itself. The solenoid power, so obviously this will have to run through the dash into the engine bay, some double-sided tape to secure this into that pocket, some cable, the screw gun. Now, I've actually also found the instruction manual on how to actually install it. So obviously when you buy it, you're supplied with everything you see here. So it's just pretty much a basic run through of how it works. See your harness, everything works, where the airline goes through. So now what it says is that it goes in between the fuel pressure regulator vacuum hose. So on the Skyline you've got a couple of fittings at the front and actually where the fuel regulator goes, but I've actually, say for instance, this is obviously not an RB, I don't know what this is supposed to be off, I think it's supposed to be off like a Mitsubishi or something. The boost line for the gauge actually comes off the, say, inside these runners here on the Skyline and runs into my cabin. So what I was going to do is use this three-way valve here and just tee into the boost gauge reference. Don't see a big problem with that, but you can do it however you like. So I've obviously got an external wastegate, so I've got to do it separately to their standard, obviously, intake. So we'll get that all sorted very shortly, but first of all we'll mount this into there and then we can go from there. It comes out like that. Okie. So this, guys, obviously, as I said, I'll probably just have that sitting in there like so. Not quite big enough. So I'll run the bigger drill bit back through it. I'll get back to you when I sort this out. Okay, so after a little bit of massaging with the drill, I managed to open the little hole up quite enough, so then this will work perfectly as a hole and a guide for the boost controller. So now it's just a matter of getting that to sit where I want it to in there, and should be right to go. Alright guys, so I've pretty much drilled the holes for the power, so power goes in, solenoid power goes in, or so receive or sense, whatever it is, and that there obviously is going to receive the boost line. So being a little bit OCD, I've made sure it's roughly going to line up perfectly. So yeah, I'll get everything sorted and then we'll go to the next step. Okay guys, so the next step is going to be running the cabling for the actual Mack boost valve itself, which is this one here, which I've actually mounted to the factory boost solenoid mount, which is on the R33. So now there's a grommet right there. I'm probably going to duck in through that one, that will obviously bring it out behind the heater core, and then I'll be able to pull it out and run it into the center of the dash, roughly where I want to have the actual boost controller itself. So I'll get this run inside, guys, and then we can go from there. Okay guys, so it's all plugged in, runs up along there with the other loom, it's there, and ducts in there through the firewall. So that actually did come out right behind the heater core, as I said. So now we'll go back inside the car and then we'll start hooking everything up. Alright guys, so I've found the positive, which I'm going to get obviously 12 volt power from for the actual boost controller itself, which was off this little plug here that I discussed before. So I've obviously stripped the wire back, I got my heat shrink on the cable ready to go. So yeah, as I said guys, got the heat shrink on here ready to go, twisted nicely. Don't ever twist and tape shit because it just sucks. Do the job fucking properly, especially with cabling. So I don't know if you can see it, but you can see that it's probably smoking, so she's getting nice and hot. Almost, yep, righto, it's ready to go. So solid green light, good to go. Milwaukee makes some great things. So just get in there, solder it all nice and deep like. No, just kidding. Solder it properly, just like that. There we go. Then get your little, anything, you can use a lighter, a little blowtorch, whatever. We'll just give that a quick hit like that, that's done. Power sorted out for the actual solenoid, for the actual controller itself. The solenoid's plugged in too, and here is the boost line. So let's plug it in and we'll see if it wants to work. So see if I can do this one-handed. Let me see. Okay, so it's plugged in. I'll just try and hold the camera. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. Now, I don't exactly know how to set it up, but this is going for a tune very shortly. So, yeah, I'll put it all back together and then we'll go from there. Right guys, so I put it all back together. As you can tell, it's in there. It looks all nice and snazzy like. Now since I put all the dash back together, I'll just make sure it all works properly. Oh, look at that. Straight on. Beautiful. So now we'll go to the engine bay and I'll show you how to set up the Mac valve, and for obviously the boost lines, and that'll be a wrap. So let's go to the engine bay. So I've got the solenoid all wired up, all plumbed up. So intake pressure goes into the NC port, and then the external wastegate pressure goes from there to the COM ports, and there's 3 ports. So obviously if you've got an internal wastegate, that would be how you would set it up, and then external wastegate is set like that. So please be sure to obviously set it up right. Now I'll put the link to this instruction manual in the description, and then yeah, you can obviously install it yourself. So please be sure to check out the window banners. You can find them on my Instagram page, which I'll put right here, so at Sedan Vlogs on Instagram. But guys, that will probably be where I'll wrap up today's video. So if you enjoyed this video and it helped you install an electronic boost controller into your Skyline, please be sure to give me a like and a thumbs up. Well, obviously they're the same thing. So next video, guys, will probably be injectors, and then it'll be getting a tune. So once again, like this video if you enjoyed today's video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and you're new. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.